Yo guys, really quick before the video starts, according to YouTube's analytics, 98% of you that watch my videos aren't subscribed, which is like, what are you doing, bro? Just hit the button. Alright guys, enjoy the video. Yo, what's going on, ladies and gents? My name's Arbuckle. Welcome back to another video. Today we are once again back on Call of Duty Warzone, and I wanted to share with you guys the best strategy for squads to win more games. This is for squads, trios, as it is right now. You can do this solo, but it's going to be a little bit more challenging. It works the best when you're playing with a full team, and it's something that we have kind of figured out over time. I'm sure a lot of you guys as well have been trying to figure out strategies that work the best for yourself and your playstyle, and we found out one that worked for us really well, and we've made it to end game almost every time. As a matter of fact, the gameplay that I think I'm sharing with you, we didn't even win. We ended up taking second place, but I'm going to share with you guys the strategy so that you guys can test it out, and it's worked extremely well for us, and it helped us to get a lot more wins than we were getting, and I think you'll be able to do really well with this strategy too. So again, essentially you want to be playing with a full squad. The best place to land right now that I think that works for us is Stadium. Now, a lot of people tend to stay away from Stadium because they think it's very scary, it's very open, you can't get inside the stadium, there's not a whole lot of stuff to hide behind like some of these big cities, but Stadium is one of the best places to go. When you're playing squads, you almost never run into anybody, and if you do, it's very easy to take out a team here because the only way that you can go is in a circle around the stadium. So essentially when you spawn, you can see if anyone's flying in there, and you'll be able to see which direction they're going. If you do encounter a situation where there is another team that is landing there, or another single player, just anyone in general, what you want to do is you want to squad up with your team and go 3-on-1. A lot of times people that land at Stadium will just try to split up and work their way around the back and fight people one at a time, and that's not the best way. If you do land there and you see somebody, let your squad mates know so that you guys can all bombard them and take them out together. This works so much easier than trying to do a one-on-one. When you've got three guys that are backing you up, even if you're taking on a whole team, you're all gonna be ready to fight them, and it's worked for us every time. So hopefully it'll work for you guys as well. I hope a lot of people don't watch this video because then maybe a lot of people will start going there, but an amazing place to go. What's great about the stadium is there's a ton of loot here as well as a ton of cash. Now, most of the time when you spawn here, almost every single game, I don't want to say every game, but almost every single game, there's going to be at least one store. There's two different stores. There's one on each side of the stadium. Obviously, in some games, they don't spawn in every single location. I think we've only had one or two games where there's not a store around the stadium at all. But for the most part, there's always going to be at least one, and there's plenty of cash to get a custom loadout as well as buy armor for your team. So that is why this is one of the best places to land, because generally no one's there. You can get enough cash to get the custom loadout literally at the beginning of the game and get yourself plenty of armor. Generally what we do, we collect as much cash as we can. We split the cash. Whoever's got closer to 6,000, we give 6,000. They buy the loadout drop, and then whoever's got the rest of the money, we all put together and end up buying armor, and then we're set. We're ready to go. And then what you want to do after you do all that, you should be good. This should only take a few minutes to do. You want to hop in a vehicle that's right there next to Stadium. There's almost always a vehicle that's going to be located right next to the store that you can just hop in, and you want to look at the map and see where the circle is. Now, if you're really like in the middle of the circle, you don't have to go far. Essentially, the next step is to find a building that you can lock down and secure and stay in the circle. So let's say, for example, the circle is far away from the stadium. What we'll do is we'll hop in that vehicle and we'll drive literally to the middle of the next circle and post up in a building. Now, it's not 100% camping, but it's essentially camping. What we'll do, because it's so difficult to attack everyone in the lobby and make it all the way to the end, the chances are so low because so many players are able to respawn and come back into the match. They say it's a 150-person lobby, but by the time people get out of the gulag, by the time people are done buying their teammates back, you're essentially going up against 300 people in a game, which is insane. So it's very difficult unless you're Shroud or someone that's an absolute god at the game to run through the middle of the map and get 45 kills every time. So if you're an average player like most of us, then the best way is to play a little bit more defensive. So like I said, we'll get in that vehicle, we'll go to the middle of the map, find a building that has very few entrances, generally a building that has multiple stories, and what we'll do is we'll put one person in the bottom that generally has a heartbeat sensor on their loadout. They'll chill downstairs and watch the main doors with claymores, use the heartbeat sensor to be able to tell when anyone's near, and then we'll generally put someone on the very top floor with a sniper to try to attack anyone that's near us. We don't want to camp completely because obviously that's boring. Yeah, we can make it to the end of the game every single time, but you know, sitting there for 20 minutes is really boring and nobody wants to do that. So we'll sit in a building, we'll lock it down, and we'll try to pick fights from anyone that's near us. If a car goes by, we're lighting into it. We probably shouldn't. If we want to make it far, we should probably just hide the whole time. But we'll lock down that building so that if anyone does try to come at us and attack us while we're shooting at them from distance, we already have a building secure. We have claymores. We have someone with a heartbeat sensor that can figure out exactly where people are coming from. We have people upstairs, downstairs, the middle floor. It's very, very easy to defend a location when you're set up and ready to go. So you want to find a building that's in the middle of the circle and post up there and wait until you absolutely have to move out of that building. A lot of times what will happen, if you go to the middle of the circle, you get yourself a building, and you won't have to move until closer to endgame when there's really not too many people left, maybe 20, 30 people. When it comes down to the endgame, you want to stay as close to buildings as you possibly can. What I don't recommend doing, let's say, for example, you get to the very end, maybe there's 15 players left. You got maybe 7 or 8 teams left. And, a lot of people will run directly to the only building in the circle. The building is great cover. However, most of the time you're going to have every single person left in the lobby hiding in those buildings. So you want to play the outside of those buildings and stay as close to the end of the circle as you can so you don't get flanked. Don't ever run to the middle of the circle when you're in the final circle, and don't ever run into those giant buildings when you think, it's the only building here, we can just post up, because I promise you everyone else in the lobby is going to be in there. But essentially, this is the strategy that we have used to get to endgame every single time. I mean, we haven't played a game where we haven't taken at least top 8 in the last week. So you guys should easily be able to do this as long as you're playing with players that know how to play the game and aren't, completely trash. You guys should be really, really well doing this strategy. And I really hope this thing helps. It's something that we've been doing. I was hesitant to make a video on this for a while, but we've been doing this for so long, and it's worked literally every game, that I think you guys will be fine and be able to do this pretty easily as well. But if you guys have any questions about this specific strategy or anything else, any modifications that you'd like to make to this strategy, please make sure to leave them down in the comment section below, and I'll be sure and try to help some of you guys out. But I really hope you guys did enjoy this video. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see all you guys in the next.